Dear students, in the past modules we have been studying about the computers, types of computers, computer peripherals, computer crimes, and in this module we shall be studying about the significance of computer crimes, the types of computer related crimes, and the substantial characteristics of computer related crimes. First, we shall start with the introduction. Digital technology is surrounding in all strides of existence all over the world and has conveyed the factual significance of globalization. At the one end, cyber system delivers prospects to communicate, and at the other end, certain individuals or community exploit its control for criminal purposes. Criminals exploit the internet and other network communications which are universal in scope. Condition is disturbing that cybercrime is an imminent and is talk of the town in every arena of the society and system. Hypothetically and essentially, this is an innovative subject for scholars and is developing exponentially. Lot of work has been done and endless has to be done because the innovation or upgradation of novel technology leads to technical crime, that is the digital or the cyber crime or the e-crime. This is because day by day a new technique is being developed for doing the cyber crime, and several types of appropriate investigating techniques to challenge that newly cyber crime is lacking. Cybercrime is any criminal activity involving computers and networks. It can range from deception to unwanted emails, also known as spams. It can consist of distant theft of administration or business secrets through unlawful trespass into remote systems around the world. Cybercrime includes anything from downloading prescribed music archives to pilfering millions of monies from online bank accounts. Cybercrime also comprises non-monetary crimes such as generating viruses on other computers or posting classified business information on the internet. Most cybercrimes cannot be placed into a single crime category, which makes statistical recording of this activity limited at best. Internet associated activities are as susceptible to crime and can lead to prosecution as effectually as common physical crimes. The forms of crimes that are presently going on have existed long before the internet was around. By virtue of the gadgets being used today to commit cybercrimes, criminals are now more unspecified and provided with a virtual market of available victims. The accountability falls on individuals to defend themselves and their families through safe online practices. Cybercriminals are no different than conventional criminals in that they want to make their cash as quickly and easily as possible. Cybercrime prevention can be accomplished equitably, quickly, and in a cost-effective manner when equipped with a little technical assistance and common sense. Many cybercrime attacks can be evaded. Cybercrime has extraordinary potential and thus creates high influence when it is finished. It is easy to commit without any physical presence required, as it is comprehensive in nature. Due to this, it has become a challenge and jeopardy to the crime combat and vice versa. There is an inadequacy of dependable information about the extent of computer crime occurring and the nature and severity of the crimes. The available evidence suggests substantial losses, though the full magnitude is unidentified. Next is types of computer related crimes. The premature attacks, one would realize that early hackers were mainly programmers who programmed on machines for their utter enjoyment of it. This inquisitiveness could be interpreted as the crux of hacking in its unique sense. Some got involved into this act in an attempt to gain personal fame. Today's sophisticated attacks pose a more damage potential. various claims from hackers group concerning infringement into security networks to steal military software trailed by intimidations to sell it to terrorists if their demands are not met are on a rise. This is undoubtedly a warning that the aspect of cyber criminal activity is fluctuating as we understand that the scope and intention of the attackers has increased beyond the control. Hackers are no longer enthusiastic, cyber geek described teenagers, but people with tangible, unscrupulous intentions having monetary interests and selfish motives. Today, we see a strong connection between the attackers and terrorist organizations that envisage cybercrime as an impeding approach to carry out their motive to spread terror. There are countless types of cybercrime prevailing in the system, but mostly it can be classified into four main categories. First is criminality against individuals. Cyber crimes committed against individual persons consist of such types of criminalities like broadcast of child pornography, prosecution of any person with the use of a computer such as email, cyber defamation, hacking, indecent exposure, email spoofing, IRC, that is internet relay chat crimes, net extortion, malicious code, trafficking, circulation, posting, phishing, credit card frauds, and circulation of indecent material as well as software piracy. The possible harm of such a crime to individual person can barely be larger. Next is criminality against property. One more classification of cyber crimes is that cyber crimes against all types of properties. These crimes contain computer vandalism, intellectual property crimes, threatening and salami attacks. This kind of crime is ordinarily widespread in the financial organizations for the purpose of committing economic crimes. A significant characteristic of this sort of crime is that the alteration is so trivial that it would usually go undetected. Next is criminality against organization. The third type of cybercrime classification relates to cyber crimes against organization. Cyber terrorism is one distinct type of crime in this kind. The development of internet has revealed that the standard of cyberspace is being used by individuals and groups to force the international government as also to intimidate the inhabitants of a country. This crime concludes itself into terrorism. When someone cracks into a government or military preserved website, it is all over the world approved that any and every computer system in the world can be cracked. Next is criminality against the society. The fourth type of cyber crime relates to crimes against the society. In this type, forgery, cyber terrorism, webjacking, spoiling the youth through indecent activities, financial crimes, sale of illegal articles, net extortion, cyber contraband, data diddling, salami attacks and logic bombs types of crimes is incorporated. Forgery of currency notes, revenue stamps, mark sheets, etc. can be counterfeited using computers and high quality scanners and printers. Webjacking, hackers advance access and control over the website of another. Even they can change the content of website for satisfying political objective or for the purpose of money. Now the characteristics of computer related crimes. Generally, computer crime is a term used to talk about a loose set of deceptions or abuses in which computerized data or software show a chief role. Computer related crime is any illegal act for which acquaintance of computer technology is essential for successful prosecution. However, some crimes would include theft or physical vandalism of the computer itself in the categories of computer crime. The computer can be used as a tool or instrument in a variety of activities that be similar to particularly different kinds of conventional crimes. However, some crimes would include theft or physical vandalism of the computer itself. In the categories of computer crime, the computer can be used as a tool or instrument in a variety of activities that be similar to particularly different kinds of conventional crimes. While some computer crimes, for example, undoubtedly look like embezzlement, others seem more analogous to vandalism or the electronic equivalent of joyriding. This extensive variation in the nature of computer crimes is one of the factors that make effective, comprehensive, and equitable legislation difficult to design. Another aspect of computer crime that presents a challenge to effective legislation is the strong influences between this area of legislation and other social and administrative repercussions of information technology. Computer crime largely comprises of unauthorized access to computer systems, computer system files, their alteration, data destruction, theft of intellectual property, etc. Cybercrime in the perspective of national security may involve hacktivism, conventional undercover activities, or information rivalry and related activities. Computer security is noticeably narrowly related in the sense that computer crime rules are part of the resource of security measures, hopefully depressing computer abuse as well as providing alternative of last resort for those crimes that do occur. Intellectual property issues are related to computer crime insofar as computerized piracy of software, for example, in a subcategory of computer crime by and large. The fundamental nature of computer crime makes it significant to identify these connections in the statutory process to make certain that national strategies in these areas work in performance. It is essential to decide at the inception between computer crimes committed by outsiders who infiltrate a system through communication lines, commonly known as hackers, and offenses committed by insiders who are authorized to use the computer. It is safe to assert that soon after the first computer networks were manufactured, some people were looking for methods to exploit, thus giving birth to cybercrime. However, cybercrime didn't come into existence as a full-blown problem overnight. This problem materialized and raised as the computing became easier, less expensive, and more effortlessly accessible. As technology progresses, vulnerabilities are revealed, and then defenses against those vulnerabilities develop. But as soon as the new products are released, new security dumps are soon learned, and this nasty series never ends. With the time-tested examples of cyber attack, destruction, and the rise of terrorism in the last few years, cybercrime has developed as a serious threat for nations and organizations. The embarrassment of cybercrime by radical groups has a damage potential beyond imagination. The term cybercrime is used to cover a very diversity of criminal behavior. As known, crimes comprise a comprehensive range of different transgressions. It is hard to develop a typology or classification system for cybercrime. One methodology can be found in the resolution on cybercrime, which is divided into 4 different types of offenses. First, offenses against the privacy, integrity, and accessibility of computer data and systems. Second is computer-related crimes. Third is content-related offenses. Fourth is copyright-related offenses. Besides, some examples of cybercrimes are: first is hacking. A hacker is an unauthorized user who tries to gain or gains access to an information system. Hacking is a crime even if there is no noticeable damage to the system, since it is an intrusion into the privacy of data. There are different types of hackers like white hat hackers, black hat hackers, and grey hat hackers. First is white hat hackers. They consider that information distribution is good, and that is their responsibility to share their knowledge by enabling access to information. However, there are some white hat hackers who are just joyriding on computer systems. Second, black hat hackers. They cause damage after invasion. They may steal or alter data or introduce viruses or worms which damage the system. They are also called crackers. Next is grey hat hackers. Characteristically ethical but occasionally violates hacker ethics. Hackers will hack into networks, standalone computers, and software. Network hackers attempt to gain unauthorized access to isolated computer networks just for challenge, inquisitiveness, and circulation of information. Next is cyber stalking. This crime involves use of internet to annoy someone. The activities includes false accusations, threats, etc. Generally, mainstream of cyber stalkers are men and the majority of the victims are women. Next is spamming. Spamming is sending of unsolicited bulk and commercial messages over the internet. Although annoying to most email users, it is not unlawful unless it causes damage such as congestion of network and disrupting service to subscribers or creates negative impression on consumer attitudes towards the network service provider. Next is pornography. Women and children are targets of sexual exploitation through internet. Pseudophiles use the internet to send photos of prohibited child pornography to targeted children so as to attract children to such activity. Later they are sexually exploited for gains. Next is phishing. It is a criminally deceitful process of obtaining sensitive data such as username, passwords, and credit card particulars by disguising as a trustworthy entity in an electronic communication. Next is software piracy. It is an illegitimate reproduction and distribution of software for business or personal use. This is considered to be a type of violation of copyright and a license agreement. Since the unauthorized user is not a party to the license agreement and it is difficult to find out the remedies. Next is corporate espionage. It means stealing of trade secrets through illegal means such as wiretapping or illegal incursions. Next is money laundering. It means moving of illegally acquired money through economic and other systems so that it gives the impression to be legally acquired. Example, transportation of cash to a country having less severe banking protocols and move it back by back of loans and its interest of which can be re-deducted from the taxes. This was less imaginable prior to computer and internet technology, but electronic transfers have made it easier and more successful. Next is embezzlement. It is the dishonest misappropriation of money, property or any other thing of significance that has been trusted to the offender's care. Guardianship or control is called embezzlement. Internet facilities are misused to commit this type of crime. Next is password sniffers. Password sniffers are programs that monitor and record the name and password of network users as they log in, endangering security at a site. Whoever installs the sniffer can imitate a legal user and log in to access unrestricted documents. Next is spoofing. It is the act of disguising one computer to look electronically like another computer in order to gain access to a system that would be normally restricted. Next is webjacking. The term refers to forceful taking of control of a website by cracking the administrative password. Next is cyber terrorism. The use of computer resources to intimidate or compel government, the citizen or any section thereof in continuance of political or social purposes is called cyber terrorism. Persons and groups relatively often attempt to exploit unspecified character of the internet to intimidate governments and terrify the citizens of the country. We shall conclude this module with the summary. The universal use of computers and other electronic devices is creating a swiftly escalating upsurge of fresh and stored digital information. Most of the corporate information currently exists in digital form. In this information age, the physical crimes are somewhat also associated with technology. Some outdated crimes, specifically those relating to finance and commerce, continue to be advanced technologically. The term cybercrime is narrower than computer-associated crimes, as it has to include in a computer network. Computer-related crimes cover even those crimes that allow no relation to a network, but only affect standalone computer systems. The leading motivating factor for computer crime laws have been the gradually extensive awareness that current laws covering the variety of crimes that computer abuse resembles either do not cover some exploitation or are not strong and flawless enough to discourage computer crimes and allow efficient prosecution. It is also vital to understand that forensic computing, cyber forensics, or computer forensics is not solely about computers. It is about rules of evidence, legal processes, and integrity and continuity of evidence, the clear and concise reporting of factual information to a court of law, and the provision of expert opinion concerning the provenance of that evidence. Computer forensic science extracts and produces information. The purpose of the computer examination is to find information related to the case. To support such results, procedures are needed to ensure that only the information exists on the examined media, unaltered. Practically, computer forensics is entirely technology and market driven. Commonly, external laboratory settings and the investigations present exceptional disparities in almost every circumstances. Thank you.